Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rosemary Ogoji. Today we're going to be creating this PJ Maxx buttercream cake. So here I have my cake board, I have my PJ Maxx toppers for the cake. Also, I have my turntable, my spatula, my plain buttercream. I also have the buttercream I colored blue for the body of the cake. And of course, we'll be using our cake. So guys, let's get started. So to start, I'm going to be applying a little bit of buttercream on the board, on the cake board. This will help glue the cake to the board so it doesn't move around while we're covering the cake. Also, to fill the cake, I'm going to be using my plain buttercream. I like to use plain buttercream to fill. You could use the colored one if you choose. It's just my choice. Also, after filling the cake with the buttercream, you can choose to fill it with any fillings of your choice. You can use chocolate, you can use melted chocolate, you can use cookies, you can use biscuits, whatever you feel you'd like. But I'm just gonna keep mine simple. So I'm going to be placing my cake on top. I'm going to flip it over so the bottom is on top. Now I am cleaning off my board to remove all crumbs, pressing the cakes together so they can actually fit together. Now I'm going to apply a thin layer of buttercream. Sorry, this is just to hold the crumbs. It's called the crumb coating. This thin layer of buttercream is going to hold down the crumbs of the cake, so when we're placing our final coats, we don't have cake crumbs all over our cake. So I'm applying buttercream, a thin layer of buttercream to the side of the cake, after coating all the cake, I'll be placing this cake into the freezer for the buttercream to set before we apply our final coat. Okay, so here I'm just smoothing the cake. I'm done applying my buttercream on my cake. It doesn't have to be perfect at this time. It's just a crumb coat. So this cake will be going into the fridge. It's out of the fridge and you can see I can touch it and the buttercream has set. So now we're going to be applying the final coat. I'm putting a huge amount of buttercream on top of my cake, the final coating, and I'm using my spatula to spread it to the edges of the cake. Now I want to emphasize on something here. While you're spreading it, try as much as possible to smoothen the top of the cake gradually and removing the excess, just in case you must have added a whole lot of buttercream like I did. Now I'm moving to the sides of the cake. I'm applying my buttercream to the sides of the cake. Like I said earlier, don't be scared. You can always take it out if you add too much. So here I'm done applying the buttercream around my cake. I'm just using my spatula to smoothen the sides of the cake. After which I'm going to be moving to the top of the cake and use my spatula to smoothen the top of the cake, removing the excess on the edges of the cake. Now I'm going to be using the cake comb. You can get this from any cake store. I'm going to be using this to comb the body of the cake to give it this beautiful effect. Now you might not get it the first time around, but you can always go back and smoothen the side of the cake with the comb. I'm removing the excess buttercream and I'm going in again to get a smooth finish. And if at any point in time you take in a lot of buttercream from the side of the cake, you can always apply more buttercream, smoothen it out with your spatula and using the comb to get the beautiful design by the side. So I'm done with mine, and I'm using the other edge of this cake comb to smoothen the top of the cake. Now I'm using a little bit of tissue to clean the board so our cake board can be neat while we are decorating our cake. So I'm done with that. Now I'm going to use the same cake comb to comb the top of the cake. I'm just placing the cake comb on the cake and I'm using my turntable as a guide. Now please, after you've done this, remove the excess from the edges. Oh Lord, okay, I forgot to do that and it made my cake slant. So please remember to remove the excess buttercream from the edges of the top of the cake. Here I have filled my piping bag with buttercream, blue buttercream, and using a 1M nozzle to create a shell border on the cake. I have a detailed tutorial on this in my Facebook group, my free online baking class. You can join if you want a detailed tutorial on that. Okay, so we're done with the top of the cake. Now we're going to be moving to the down border of the cake. So I'm looking for the center of the cake, but before I move to the down, I'm going to be placing my cake toppers. Now you can do this anyhow you want, but I just chose to do mine this way. So I'm placing my cake toppers on my cake the way I love, or the way I deem fit. Okay, so once you're happy with the toppers, you can use your sprinkles. I chose to use my sprinkles for this cake for the border, so I'm just applying a little bit of sprinkles and using my fingers to push them into the buttercream so they don't roll off. Okay, so once you're done with that, I'm actually taking my sprinkles and applying them on the borders I have created, on the shell borders I've created on the cake. After this, I'm going to go in the corners of the borders and apply a little bit. I'm doing this because I haven't really written on the cake, so I don't want the sprinkles to set the writing on the cake. So once you're happy with what you have, I'm going to write on the cake. I just filled my piping bag with plain buttercream and I'm using a tip 4 for writing. Writing takes practice, guys. I didn't learn how to write until my 2nd or 3rd year of baking, so it's a process, guys. Nobody knows how to write automatically with buttercream. It takes practice. So here since I've done my writing, I now know where I'm going to place the remaining sprinkles. So I decided to do that, and I filled my piping bag with blue because I want to use blue to write on the board. And writing happy birthday on the board of the cake. And guys, we are done. So here is the finished product of the cake we just finished creating. Thank you so much for joining us. See you in the next video. Bye bye and stay blessed.